On the Terrance Henry Experience today, we are joined by a true master of his craft with nearly decades in the barbering game, built a legacy of passion, precision, is a lead educator at Andis, and continues to inspire and train the next generation of barbers worldwide. Please welcome the one and only Kenny Duncan. What's up, man?
It's good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. It's funny. I wanted to talk to you about something that I always wanted to talk to you about, an experience that I had with you.
Okay.
It was early in the morning, right? I was coming into the barbershop, and I don't know where you were. I was coming in, you was to the left or the right, one of those. And you said, good morning. And you said, how is your day going? I said, it's all right. And you said, why not great? Hold up, I was going to talk to you about this. And I was like, what are you talking about? And
You was frustrated.
I was frustrated because I was being challenged, for one, early in the morning. For two, I didn't know where was this coming from. And three, I was telling Jabari, he was like, yo, why is he asking me how great I am? So he ain't really paying me no mind. He just cutting. He's like, hey, man. And it took me some time. It took me some time to understood where you was coming from with that, right? It took me about, a year to really process it because I didn't understand it. And then it dawned on me when people ask me all the time now, they say, yo, how you doing? I say, oh, I'm phenomenal. I'm great. And the energy that I get back from it is just like, really? You're great? I'm like, yeah, I am. There's nothing wrong. There's a lot of things that can be worse, but yeah, I feel great. And I want to say thank you for that. Like, because you said something, you said being great on purpose. Because you said that to me, I want to know, how did you come across that for you? Because it had to come from somewhere. And how did that impact? Because it influenced me a lot. So where did it come from?
So I'm going to tell the story where it came from, but I first got to unpack my perspective of that day.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I've accepted that I'm going to be a sweetheart and a prick at the same time, depending on how you view where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So I asked everybody, how are they doing? I believe we're all programmed to say that we're good, but good to me, based on additional programming from grade school, I believe that's 80%.
Okay.
So our words have power, and we're acknowledging where we really want to be, and that's just good. And I responded to you. I said, what's missing for you to be great? And you weren't ready for that.
I wasn't.
You weren't ready for that. So I asked a few more questions. The funny thing was, I said something sarcastic after that one. Because then you changed the words. You was like, no, well, I'm great. But my emotional intelligence lets me know that the words that people use isn't always a reflection of the truth.
Right.
It's the body language tells the truth. And your energy was telling me that you weren't telling the truth in that moment, and that something else is bothering you. So I chose wrong in that moment, and I chose to pick. And I remember saying more to you. I was like, so did you just lie to me? You told me it was good. Now you tell me it's great. Both of them can't be. And then you was like getting frustrated. Now I was like, well, just be honest. Well, like, just tell the truth. Whatever it is, you just don't want to talk to me about it.
Right.
He was like, and then that's when you started talking to Bar, and I could see y'all talking, and I was just smiling inside. I'm like, oh man, I pushed him over the edge. Yeah. So I knew when you got it, when one day coming in the shop or leaving the shop, say, hey, how you doing? He was like, great. I said,
yeah. I got it. I understood it. Because those responses to people, I think when you do lead off like that, it does give a great response. But it took me some time to process it, though, because it bothered me because I knew you was coming from a good, genuine place. I just didn't know where it was coming from. I'm like, why would he ask me this at 9:30 in the morning? Because it's a lot of things happening that I got to do, but you challenged me, and I think sometimes people don't get challenged.
No, that's not sometimes.
A lot of times they don't get challenged most of the time.
So where it came from a collection of mentors shaping me to not settle for mediocrity. And I can't say that it came from one specific spot.
Okay.
But I believe there was a collection of experiences that end up coming together. And I don't know the moment in which it all clicked.
Okay.
I don't remember that one. But I can say there were specific things that I do remember. Former client of mine named Ben Kenyon, strength coach for the 76ers, former strength coach for the 76ers. That was our introduction. I knew him to be someone that produced at a high level. And one of the things that we will always do was have great conversations. And conversations lead to one day he's gonna let me know that he wrote a book. He has another book that he's writing. And he was telling me that the book he had already written was a children's book, and then he's writing another book, and it's all about success. Children's book was called a book about gratitude.
Okay.
But then one of the pages in the book talked about how gratefulness is a superpower. And that thought was in line with scripture that challenges us to think on things that are of good report, that are lovely, etc. So having a biblical foundation, I understood that. It triggered the thoughts for that one, and a myriad of other thoughts and inspirations I've gotten from different mentors.
Yeah.
But just understanding in challenging times where we place our mind will determine how we look at things. Like if I had a card, let's say if it was an ace of spade, and I put that ace of spade in between you and I, and the ace was facing towards me, you wouldn't see the ace of spade. So your perspective will only allow you to see the back.
Right.
And there's times when the fact of something being in between you and I, that's we know is for a fact is there. Us sitting in different spots in the room in relation to this card will allow our perspectives to be different. So where I can argue that this is what I see, you can argue what you see. Both of them are right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So from my perspective is, okay, I'm looking at what I'm grateful for. You're looking at what you're disappointed at. So your attitude will reflect the fact that you're not grateful, and it shuts down the positive energy and the opportunity for creation, the opportunity for collaboration with anybody around you because you're vibrating low.
True.
Now, if I have the attitude of gratitude and I had the perspective of, even though things are not perfect, like this ace of spade is torn. You're like, yo, I see a tattered card that it's not perfect. I don't want it. Throw it in the trash. And I'm like, I got a great hand.
Yeah.
And I'm a play what's in my hand to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that greatness is coming.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So that phrase in that book was just one of many things that tied to me just realizing that the life experiences I've gone through, I can either focus on me being grateful, or I can focus on me focusing on what I'm not grateful for, and it has a different perspective. So the second part is I started paying attention to words, started paying attention to how people language certain things, and our words have power, and it affects how we move and affects what our habits are, and our habits affects what our destiny is. So if I was able to change my perspective and change my attitude, then I can change my destiny.
I like that.
Following?
Yeah.
So if I can actually find something I'm grateful for while being pissed off, my attitude changes. If I can focus on what I can control, which is my response and not necessarily what happened to me, then I can have a grateful attitude. I'm grateful I got an opportunity to actually learn. So the next time I get opportunities, I'm going to respond differently because of, I may not like what you did, but I learned something from it that's valuable. So now I have a character building moment through the situation that the next time I'm in a situation, I know I'm equipped. So I appreciate the experience that we had.
I did too.
No, I'm just, this is this is me speaking to all poor experiences that I've had in the past that cause people to be dissatisfied with relationships and have the perspective of, you know what, I'm not great because I didn't like this. We live in those moments a lot. So when I seen you in that moment, I'm speaking to you again now. When I see you in that moment, I'm seeing somebody who's carrying something into the shop. How you doing today? What? I don't know what it is. Yeah. But I'm living in this space where I'm grateful for all the good and bad moments and experiences I've had, because I'm looking at these things as character building moments that's positioning me for the best version of me. And I'm grateful for those things, both good and bad. Yeah. You follow me?
Yeah, I follow you.
So I'm great.
Yeah. It's funny you say all this, because that's where I got these moments from. For real. Like I kind of feel like God always speaks to you in so many ways, right? Mm-hmm. And I was asking myself that time I was walking in the barbershop, even though I could say whatever I want, I'm like, something had to come from this. And sometimes God can point you in directions. He can speak loud to you without speaking to you at all. You know what I mean? And I've always tried to look for these viable learning lessons from it all. It's like, okay, I can't be combative about this moment, but I need to know and learn from this moment. Because some people can be very combative about things, but they're not understanding the process through it all, right? So when I've learned that and went through that, it was all these teachable lessons that I have, about being positive. Because I'm always speaking positive. I'm always talking about positive, but it was another tier to it. You can't speak it and not live through it. I always spoke it, but I was never living through it. And that's
unpack that. What do you mean by that?
So I can always be positive and tell somebody what to do and stuff like that. Like, yo, you should do this. You got it. You're right. You could do that. But it was some points where as though I didn't believe that in myself. I'm always telling somebody else.
Got it.
But I didn't believe it in myself till one day, that day, when I walked in, you asked me a question that I needed to hear.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying to you? So even if I'm having a bad day, I'm telling somebody else to have a good day. But for me, I'm not still feeling that about myself.
Got it.
So you was the first person to ask me certain things, to question that, to lead me to go to my destination. So that's why all these things, that's why everything unpacked for a reason. That's why I was like, okay, these all make sense. Everything now makes super sense to me, because before it didn't. So now when I speak positive, it's really, really genuine. I really, really believe in that. You know what I mean? So a lot of people may speak things, but they don't follow suit, do things. Every morning I wake up, Kenny, I'm thankful. It's nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. And I tell myself that all the time. It's not that bad. Mm-hmm. Somebody else can have a day where as though they find out some things that they got to deal with. And it's my dealing with whatever they got to deal with doesn't resonate. So I'm all right.
Understood. I like to say that I have a lot of first world problems.
Okay.
I don't try to lean into just the positive, though. I try to lean into the positive and the negative.
Okay.
A friend of mine, we were having this conversation recently. His name is DC the Barber.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, "Hey, bro, listen, a battery needs a positive and negative to make the car start."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it do. It do. That is true.
We can't be all positive.
That is true.
So I do have the perspective that I find something constructive, something that can build on within the negative. So I'm embracing failures. I'm embracing the idea of the things that are uncomfortable or sandpaper moments.
Okay.
There's an analogy I like to share. Just imagine this piece of wood needs to be smoothed out with a piece of sandpaper. And imagine you are the piece of wood and I, in relation to you, are the sandpaper. In that moment in the barbershop, I was sandpaper and you're this wood. And with what I intended to do started something, I actually was rubbing you the wrong way. Right?
Okay.
Now, here's a question. Do we blame the fact that I was rubbing you the wrong way? Or do we appreciate that this moment exposed that you were not smooth enough for this not to bother you? So there's an impurity that was found in this moment And could we fix our perspective to be appreciative of the sandpaper moment that exposed another opportunity for growth?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we going to complain about this paper person?
Right. Right. Exactly.
I can't stand him.
Right.
Every time. Oh, here he go again.
But that was uncomfortable. You know, it was because it's uncomfortable. It's a defense mechanism.
Absolutely.
When people are uncomfortable, they get defensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what it was. It's like, oh, I got to come in him. He gonna ask me something that I'm not ready for. Mm-hmm. You know. To mention that, at some point, you didn't want to become a barber.
No.
Right.
Nope.
But you became one. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's like a positive and a negative? Because that at some point, what made you not want to become one to transition to you actually becoming a barber?
So I was, in hindsight, I could speak to it more in depth now.
Okay.
Because I'm empowered with more information.
All right.
If you'd asked me this 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't be able to give you the same answer I'm going to give you now.
Okay.
The ideology of what a barber was to me in my teenage years, my information was limited because I didn't know enough about who barbers were.
Okay.
I seen barbers as people who sold everything but haircuts. I seen barbers as people who didn't really have a profession. Mm. Like, there wasn't many things or many character traits of the people that I knew that was honorable, respectable in comparison to other professions. Because as a young man, you're trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? Mm-hmm. So you're making assessments. You're assessing the whole neighborhood to say, out of the options that I know, I want to choose to be you. And the images that I was presented with didn't impress me. That's the truth. Also, the truth was that my world was small. My world was limited. I didn't desire to become a barber until I got exposed to barbering outside of the barbershop. Mm. So once I got a chance to see the impact and value of a barber and the doors that can be opened to me through barbering, and to see what I can see through barbering, then it was like, oh, I don't know if anything else is going to present these opportunities to it.
So it was a lot more.
Oh, yeah. So literally, my definition of what a barber is was challenged. And it's even still being challenged. So it's like, listening to you speak, I don't know if I would just label myself just as a barber.
Right.
I don't know if just that title in itself really encompasses what I've been able to experience, what I have access to, and what the quote unquote job is.
Well, it's a lot more. I feel like barbers are. You got a therapist. You know, you really have to talk to somebody. You know, in the sense of people who sit in that chair, you got to hear everything, and then they're looking for a response. I mean, the closest person that you can probably confine into is your barber. Your barber knows you probably better than anybody. You know, y'all know the darkest secrets. You know, you sitting in that chair and y'all know things. So it's like y'all have a bigger responsibility just besides cutting the hair, everything else that comes around that. You know, and for you being in it decades, what, 27 years, 28 years you've been in that?
98.
98, right?
December 98.
December, yeah, 98, right? That was your first full profession of you doing that. So take me to the first very time you fully cut somebody's hair, and how did it make you feel? Was you nervous? Was it like, you know, I can see myself doing this? Because it's your first one, you know? Besides you being younger, I know you cutting hair for yourself or in school, but your very first professional time around that December 98 era.
I don't remember the first haircut.
Okay.
I was already cutting hair in the house prior to, but in the barbershop, I don't remember my first haircut, but I'm going to tell you about my introduction to a client that I still have now. Wow. That I would say is a friend and more than just a client. and somebody who I will be leaning on more for insight on from their industry, I consider them to be a thought leader in their industry, for insight for how collaborations can grow. A gentleman named Jay Andrews is a vital part of my growth and development as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a client of another barber. And one particular day, that barber wasn't there. I got a chance to cut their hair. And I remember the next time coming in, there was no conversation about his desire to switch. And it was this awkward moment of him coming to me with the other barber having the assumption that they still had a contract.
Okay.
So it was awkward, but at the same time, it proved to me that he was making a choice because he had a prior, prior relationship within a barbershop with a barber, and he decided to make a move. But I don't know if any other barber has cut his hair in the time that I've been cutting him. And if so, it's probably on one hand. I mean, other barbers been able to actually serve Jay Andrews, who's a, great friend and has been a very loyal client. My relation with him tied me to his grandfather, which his name is Milton.
Okay.
Andrews, and or Jackson, I believe. I'm not sure what his last name was. He owned a business called Pimp and Pamper, very successful hair salon that at one point on 52nd and Walnut, they were operating out of 3 buildings with probably around 60 to 70 hairstylists, killing the game.
Wow.
And when I'm working at Classic Barbershop and we're working on the same side of the street, the particular day where we had power issues with Pico, where every time it would rain, the transformers that were underground would get flooded. So then our entire side of the street would blow. One busy Saturday, I had a whole bunch of clients. And I'm like, yo, I can't just do this one. I knew that they had 2 businesses across the street, and one of them in this particular year was vacant. And that was an opportunity for me to go to Mr. Milton and ask him, hey, listen, Jay, let me know you have this building that's sitting. I already know that it was already fully furnished to be a hair salon. I know it's outdated, but I just need somewhere for me and my staff to work for the day. At this point, I'm just a third key for Classic Barbershop, and my partner, Wayne, he was the manager of the shop.
Okay.
And when I started doing working at the shop in '98, he did an apprenticeship program that empowered me to be able to get my license. So I feel like I'm indebted to him. He assisted me in this process. I'm the first of many barbers that he's got to be professionally licensed. And we took on the task of taking our staff down there for the day, which led to sometime later being the first barbershop that we ended up going into business with together.
Wow.
And that was back in 2003, I believe, 2003 or 2004 is when we started. So it wasn't soon after me choosing the barbering profession that I ended up being co-owner of Main Attraction and Sex Salon with my partner Wayne. And that's
how you get
Jay Andrews is in the mix of the whole thing.
Jay Andrews, that's what's up. Shout out Jay. Destination and journey. Tell me about that.
Give me a more specific question so I can actually.
So you said something that you were in a previous interview. You said that you were.
Oh man, you digging deep.
Oh man, I got to. This is what I do, man. You said that you don't think that the journey as a destination is always involving. You're always involving.
Absolutely.
Involving, right? But at some point, we had another conversation before the interview. You was like, your journey has changed. Now, remember when you said that about your journey is
it's always evolving.
It's always evolving. So what has evolved so far since you've been in this space where you at now? What's evolved that you feel? Because I know you do a lot, man. You travel. You pretty much, you teach the youth. You're a lot. Because we're supposed to do this interview a long time ago. So a lot has happened since then. And I just want to get your perspective on that, because a lot of young men, women out there who want to become barbers, who want to be in that customer service thing. And you have accomplished so much, but this journey is still going. And I just want to know where you at with it, with everything.
I'm a dreamer. I'm one that likes to be intentional as much as I can. I'm one that accepts humanity, accepts my limitations, but I try to find exactly where those limitations are.
Okay.
I like to cultivate my community based off of 3 C's. Individuals that will focus on charity with me, individuals that will focus on helping building character with me, and individuals that will help focus on capital. Okay. Some people intertwine into multiple different circles, and where I am currently, someone who desires to become better at being a family man, someone desires to become better at being a businessman, and also just as a man, period. And someone who's an entrepreneur, investor, marketer. I mean, I consider myself a professional slasher.
Okay.
So when you label just barbering, in my mind, I'm like, I wonder how much of the story he knows. That's literally what the question is in my mind. So I'm like, so when you say from there up until now, I'm like, what's the starting point for it to even be known?
Okay.
Because it's interesting because I have a healthy social profile, but it's not robust to detail and outline everything that I'm involved in, and that's intentional.
Okay.
I love golf right now.
Play golf?
I just did 18 holes about 2 weeks ago, and I was just at Top Golf and practicing my swing, trying to make sure I improve my driver. I'm seeing how God is working because I'm in a stage now to see exactly which of my clients will continue to evolve and transfer into being business partners as business continue to grow and scale as a part of what my legacy is. I have the perspective that I'm not. A lot of people give me credit for what I've accomplished.
Yeah.
But my perspective is that I'm nowhere near where I desire.
Okay.
So it's hard to accept the praise when I see the amount of work that needs to be done. So
I get it.
I had the perspective of creating something big that's more global than what I've already been. And I have the capacity to do it. I just need to continue to focus on the small things to get it done. God is assisting, God is assisting. God is orchestrating all the things that I know and don't know.
Okay.
And as I'm dreaming and praying and working, I see things just falling into play, and some things that are not working the way I particularly plan is all for the purpose of the evolutionary process of developing and cultivating, etc. So there's some big things that I believe will take place. I was saying a year, and I seen a video today from Magic Johnson was saying, everything needs to be planned out in 3 years. So I was like, dang, should I say 3 years now? But I'm not the one that crafts the exact timing of things. That's the divine things that or the sovereign things that God has orchestrated that I'll find out.
You'll find out.
I ain't get to that part of the chapter yet, so I'm still reading what was written already.
Do you find yourself being hard on yourself?
No, I'm enjoying the process.
You in the process?
I'm thoroughly enjoying the process. Yeah, I'm grateful for where I am.
Yeah,
understanding my humanity while understanding what I understand the perspective of what people like to celebrate. Yeah. So I'm not detached and unsatisfied with those experiences. It's just that I'm seeing the ace, and they're just seeing the car. So
I see you see it. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because at some point in my life I used to be super hard on myself of like disappointments, right? And then I got into this place where it was just like I embraced them, because the lessons that were behind them. You know, even like doing podcasting, you know, being in for so long, I could tell you many stories, or countless stories where I felt like they were disappointments, but they wasn't. You know, it was a story behind of it all. You know, and I've learned, you know, to enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. People think I'm crazy, like, yeah, you still doing this? And I'm like, yeah, why not? You know, it's something that you love to do, and it's more than just, like you said, more like you being a barber, of course, because you're doing so much beyond that, because you are a motivational speaker. People do have an influence to look at you, and they have something to live for by looking at you. And like I told you, I always feel like God speaks to you in so many ways. So to remember this guy I was interviewing one time, and after the interview, he grabbed me. He was like, you know, Terrance, he was like, you got to keep doing this because somebody's looking at you. So you just can't stop now. And I was like, where'd that come from? You know, so it's always been this gain of big responsibility to do it. So I've always taken it so seriously to learn as much as I can in the process. It ain't going to be always perfect, but to get better each day, you know? So that's why I always felt like this conversation was so important for us to have, because we're two men on this journey of path of greatness. And when we get up in the morning, we have a purpose, where some people don't still know what their purposes are, but we're that vessel of us being here to say, maybe it may not be what I do or you do, but it's something. And whatever it is we're sparking or what we're going to do can get them to say, you know what, I want to do this or I want to do that, you know, because what we're doing, you know. Tell me, how did you get involved with the 76ers? Was it something from your nonprofit that you have, and how that all correlated in building those relationships with them, with cutting their hair, or how did that go about?
It's a reflection of multiple different relationships. Quality relationships are worth more than money.
There you go. Yep.
That's a declarative statement I share. To unpack it even more, gentleman named Marquise was a sales rep, and he wanted to go to many different barbers in the city to get different haircuts to help build his opportunity to help build the profile of the Sixers, or people going to the Sixers game when they stunk. I have a robust network of barbers that I have a high respect for, and I've met these gentlemen through me teaching with Andis. So being an Andis educator has earned me a lot of respect in the eyes of a lot of barbers, and a lot of times it's because of my viewpoint of being an asset to them in any way that I can.
Okay.
When I have the capability to do so. So pointed the finger to a bunch of different dope barbers for him to go to, built a network, and that allowed for him to become more valuable to the brand, because now there's this thing called Barbershop Appreciation Day that ended up developing during a time of Wear Bad. Me and a barber named Shink the Barber ended up using that to celebrate our birthdays, because it was the cheapest thing that we could do to bring us together and house over 200 barbers who we're all cool with.
Wow.
And now we're doing on-court experiences with the 76ers because we sold a decent amount of tickets while they're bad and nobody wants to come to the games. That's one thing. Doing a charity events, another opportunity for these same barbers to interact with. Barbers Who Care Inc. is the foundation. Been in existence at this point 16 years.
Wow.
Working with the Sixers for 9.
Okay.
So Barbers Who Care is established prior to, totally separate from the relationship with Marquise.
And Barbers Who Care is your nonprofit, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have charity events that are going on. At the time, we were doing the biggest back to school free haircut event during a time that everybody wasn't even doing free haircut events, because this is when barbers and stylists make the most money, because of how much notoriety that brought to the people involved, including me. That led a whole wave of it being normalized now.
Okay.
So 16 years of commitment to that is the reason why now everybody's saying, hey, barbers, do you want to come to this event and give out free haircuts? When historically, this is when we made the most money, because everybody's getting haircuts in the barbershop. Now the whole hood getting haircuts outside the barbershop.
Outside the barbershop.
That started there.
That's good.
Marquise got the Sixers to sponsor that by giving out Jalil Okafor book bags. Me teaching with Andis in Atlanta, So pockets. So Marquise is one relationship. My relationship with the Barbers, another relationship. And then the opportunity for the Sixers to have value for us coming to the Barbers coming to the shows. I mean to the arenas.
Mm-hmm.
So sales department now with the corporate and also with the Barbers.
All through relationships.
But I'm not done.
Okay.
Me teaching with Andis, another corporate partner, teaching at the Bronner Brothers show, and I met a gentleman named Marcus Harvey, another barber. He ended up being the barber who ended up being who I know now to be Nas's longest lasting, barber that he's been working with.
Mm-hmm.
I've been knowing Marcus for about 15 years now.
Okay.
And he's working at a shop called Ramsey. Ramsey was Nas's client. Moving on, he passed on to Marcus. Now he's in the space where he would inherited this client, but he doesn't have the skill set to be able to do so. Okay. So he's coming to classes, which I'm teaching, in order for him to have a systematic approach to do this fade on this barber. On this person who's known for this fade.
Got it.
The systematic approach that I empowered him with allowed him to meet the expectations and be hired to be consistently his barber.
Okay.
Him feeling indebted to a degree while he's working with other people through their relationship with Nas,
mm-hmm.
Chris Webber being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's now the barber for TNT. While working at TNT, he meets Jaleel Okafor. Jaleel Okafor gets drafted by the Sixers. He needs to know who's going to be his barber. My relationship in Atlanta calls me to be the barber for Jaleel Okafor. Mm-hmm. So that my relationship with Marquise allowed for them to choose Jaleel Okafor book bags to be given away at Barbers Who Care without Jaleel even knowing. So now there's this synergy that's developing because of this barber who understands marketing. He's helping this multi-million-dollar brand grow called Andis, and he's being an asset to other barbers, bringing these things together. Other brands wanted to have a piece of this, but wow. I don't have the capacity to bring on as many brands, especially where their bandwidth is only regional mm-hmm. and not global like Andis.
Okay.
Here's how I can help you. There's this event that's developing, and now these barbers are now loving this experience. And now it evolved into Barbershop Appreciation Night. So now we're having a barbershop tournament on the actual Sixers floor.
So you said tournament, like what, like a
barbershop versus barbershop tournament on the Sixers floor really? After the Sixers game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got plenty of content to show you this stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting you said it, because I didn't know, like, with barbering there is actually
there's a whole community of stuff.
Yeah, competition. I would never.
It's
wow.
It's a whole thing. So,
mm-hmm.
Hey, this brand's wanting to have regional exposure beyond what they could do. I have a whole bunch of the who's who in barbering that if they can be associated with your brand, that they'll help promote. And we have this organization that's hosting this, that, and the third. So I help liaison a partnership deal between a hair product brand and the 76ers through an opportunity that they didn't even cultivate.
Mm.
So I have a client, presented them with the opportunity,
mm-hmm.
and then it gets deeper because of Nick Costamanos,
okay,
LeBron James barber, Andis is sponsoring a barber competition in Miami. He's one of the competitors. We build and connect there. So now when LeBron, who's connected with Clutch Sports, has Ben Simmons, he needs to now find a professional barber in the city that trust can be transferred to. Quality relationships.
Quality. Okay.
Nick called me personally. Hey, bro, listen. Ben needs a barber. Boom. Cool. Build it. Locked in. Oh, he also cuts some of the other people. Cool. And he's doing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to make the story more interesting.
Yeah.
After cutting Brett Brown as one coach, it transfers over to Doc Rivers. In between then, they're hiring me to do something called Spa Day. There's a bunch of different things that they're doing to make the staff more comfortable and feel honored by preparing them.
Okay.
Massage therapists, nail techs, barbers, etc.
Yeah.
And because of me being in the mix of somebody who's already bringing money to the table, it's not hard to see why he should be paid.
Right.
You follow me?
Yeah, I'm following you. Yeah.
So
I'm locked in.
Now I'm in the mix. So now I have a chair there, but I'm not an employee there. I'm not paid directly consistently. I just have independent hires from some clients, some of the players, but then in between Brett Brown and Doc Rivers, there becomes a statement of, you know what? You're trusted. You're in a space. We need to make sure that this is official. So from there, it was a conversation of how many guys are you cutting a week? What are the things that are being done? You know what? We're going to build out a budget and just bill us. Players don't got to pay. Cool. So now they evolved to the team is paying for coaches, staff members, players to be groomed. So at that point, from Doc and PJ Tucker, it became from this dating relationship to, okay, he's the official. So the simplest story is quality relationships are worth more than money. And the gift of cutting hair brought me before great men. And it allowed for trust to be transferred from one person to the next. That gave me access to stuff that people will pay a lot of money to see and be around, but I ended up getting paid to do.
You've seen a lot. You've been around the world, right? You've seen a lot. One of the things that was really exciting is that because you was overseas, you toured with Lady Gaga and Janet Jackson and all that. Like how was that? Like, from a person on the outside looking in to be, in those areas and watching sound stages and just watching things. Were you cutting like the band? Was you cutting like like shape ups and things like that while you was there? Like just traveling and stuff? Everything was paid for and stuff like that? Excuse me.
So I gotta break down another version of the same story that's broke down. Which is that quality relationships are worth more than money. I grew up in high school, elementary school, middle school, and high school being a musician. So a large amount of my friends and associates are into music. Me being a service provider through barbering, meeting the needs of my clients by being able to not just cut their hair when it's convenient for them, but cut their hair where it's convenient for them. And as a large amount of my associates and friends, as their careers grew, because of them being dedicated to their craft, they had a respect for me being dedicated to mine, and we grew together.
Okay.
My cousin's, he's actually performing today, too. His name is T-Wise. Tyrone Smack. He's currently a youth pastor, but previously was just known as a gospel rapper. He had a band called The Bandwagon, and the individuals who were playing for him were also part of some of the biggest tours and that you can actually think of and be around. So between Irvin Washington, playing the keys, playing for Wiz Khalifa, and a lot of the who's who that he's been doing stuff for, Rashid, and they're playing for John Legend, Man playing the keys for him. He's John Legend's musical director, and it's a whole lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so there was a bass player in the group. His name is Kenny, and to differentiate who Kenny, my cousin, is, and from Kenny, the bass player, cousin Kenny is the barber that we all choose to go to because of T.Y.'s actually, and that relationship pushing, go to my cousin. So between me being a musician and then serving musicians and then other musicians having trust transferred to me, it made it easy for when one of the guys that's playing the drums started playing for Ty Tribbett, I became his barber. And then that led to me becoming Ty Tribbett's barber. He left Ty Tribbett, started working with Kirk Franklin. And then from Kirk Franklin, he started working with Diddy. And then next thing you know, I'm on the press play tour, cutting his hair, and then cutting other people's hair as well. Nissan Stewart, and a gentleman named Tony. They call him Tony Chicago. This was 19 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And as these guys just bounce around from different groups, they've allowed for production to pay me to make sure that the different band, dancers, etc. are groomed. And on occasion, I'm working with the actual main stars as well. So whether it's Jeremiah, Mario, Music Soul Child, the list goes on as far as the different people I got a chance to work with and different things that we got associated with. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's not known. Yeah. And I will even share with you because you went back to, I did 4 tours with Lady Gaga, 1 with Adele. Yeah. DJ Active.
That's Janet Jackson's DJ, right?
No. That's my man.
That's your man. I got you.
He got found by Music Soul Child on Radioactive back in 99 on Power 89.
Wow.
So we go back.
Okay.
He himself has been everywhere. So he's the one to open the door for me to work with Music Soul Child. He's the one to open the door for me to work with Jeremiah. He's the one to open the door for me to work with Janet Jackson in that space. Like, he's the one to give me access to these things. So there's a collection of experiences I've had because of, most people get excited about the headliner that I'm now associated with. Mm-hmm. I get excited about the relationships that I like to call my friends, that are also called thought leaders, because they've been dedicated to their craft and become thought leaders that I will not argue with about their craft, because their thoughts are higher than my thoughts in that space.
In that space. I understand.
So those people, I've named them, are the ones I get more excited about. My smile, you can see, is there for them more than it is for others. But this year alone, I've been heavy into the sports, but the whole jacket includes athletes, artists, and actors.
Actors? You cut some actors?
Yeah, see, that's why I said, I was like, I don't know how much he knows.
No, I thought I covered. I went as back as much as I could. I try to get, but this is the point. This is the point where I ask you, like, so what actors have you cut?
Got it. So, this year, working with a gentleman named Matthew Law from Abbott Elementary. Okay. In previous years, Tony. Forget his last name. He's a part of this show called Savant. Worked with Andre 3000 when he was acting on a TV show called Dispatches from Elsewhere.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I worked in the first and second Creed with Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. And that's what I remember.
That's dope.
That's what I remember. Oh, I also worked on the first episode of the first season of Bel Air. So
you went out there, or was
that was shot here in Philly?
It was some. Oh, it was.
Yeah, that was shot here in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
was it in West Philly or?
It was in West Philly.
Wow, I got now you gonna make
where I was born and raised.
Really? Now I got to go back and check out the first episode, because I did see, but I didn't know, because with all the virtual stuff now, you would think, but wow, I got to go back and check that out.
So this is the funny part. This is where the person who plays Will, his name is Jabari Banks, and that's 308 today.
He's okay. Yeah. But that's dope. Like
relationships.
As I'm going through my journey of interviewing people, you're not the first person that said that. Somebody else has said that on one of my previous one of my episodes about relationships is way better than money. And like I said, I always say, I feel like God always speaks to you so loud. And I'm hearing this again, how important it is and how relationships are. And having a podcast and having all these people, I built so many great relationships with people. you know, and the professions that they doing. When I first started, I just interviewed anybody. You know, I was interviewing just anybody that wanted to come on the show, anybody that
you
I
get
like.
Your reps in.
Yeah, I was getting reps in, man.
You're the barber who had to cut everybody walk in. You taking all the walk-ins.
Yeah.
You getting your skills up.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Getting the skills up, man. And you know, and it's been a journey, man. But the more consistent you are, the more like you want to come on the show, you start realizing the hard work starts to pay off. You know, you're looking at everybody else. Sometimes I remember at one point in my earlier career, I'll be like, dang, man, like, why can't I get them on? Like, why can't I? I kept asking why? And then something said, you're not ready. What if I did put you in front of them? You wouldn't be ready for that. So that's what you say, those reps.
Got it. Yeah, gotta get those reps on.
Gotta get those reps. So it counts for a lot of studying. It counts for a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures or whatever to be able to learn how to interview people. You know, it's one thing, people don't understand the concept of interviewing somebody. You know, they just say, all right, I got this thing, I'm gonna do it. But like, nah, it's so much that comes from just interviewing. You really have to learn. It's a skill. It's a required skill that people don't know about. Yes, be yourself in the process, but it still demands some type of solution base to an interview of where you're going with the interview that people don't understand. You just can't come on and just feel as though you want to talk about everything all over the place that doesn't resonate what it is supposed to be, what the actual message is. I had to learn all that because some of my interviews I listened to sometimes, I ain't gonna lie to you, Kenny, I was like, oh man, what was I talking about? Crazy. But then I laugh at it, you know? What I wanted to ask you before we get out of here, man, and I had this for you. I wanted to save this. What would you tell your younger self if you was to ever meet him? What would you tell your younger self?
So I had to ask some qualifying questions for this meeting. The question is, will there be any other participants? Like in this, like follow me with this thought to its logical end.
Okay, I got you.
So where's this conversation taking place at?
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad you say this. I want to paint the narrative. Good. Time for me to use my imagination. All right. Say you just run to him. All right, you're from West, right? You want a bus. You coming home.
So this isn't a planned meetup.
Nah.
There's not much I would say because he may not be open and ready for information.
So what if it's at a planned meetup, right? Your older sub. All right, y'all met Malcolm X Park. I'm gonna put it right there. It's where y'all meet up at. Right? And you say, you know what?
How long do we know that how long before how much advance notice did we have?
A week.
We had a week.
Y'all got a week. Okay. You got a week. Like young Kenny, you're gonna meet your older self in a week.
Got it.
You got some questions.
Who set the meeting up?
Who set it up? What?
Yeah. This matters.
It matters who set it up?
Context matters, bro.
God set it up.
Okay.
That's fair. So I can't say I set it up because, you know, say God set it up. Like, you know.
Now, is younger Kenny open and receptive to this interaction that God had with him?
He might not be. But even if he's not, whatever he may get from, even if he may not understand it, he may understand the message later on. Right? So even if he doesn't understand, because, you know, as with young people, we'll listen to things all day. It'll go here and out of here, but something will resonate with us at some point. And like I told you when I walked in, I was different when I walked in and talked to you about when you said that. I'm a different person. So even though he's younger, you know, even if it's just a little bit, what is the little bit of things you would tell him if you was to meet up with him in that week? It ain't got to be a whole bunch.
So I don't believe words have as much power as actions.
Okay.
If he's not open and receptive, I'll be looking to find ways to show love and to build connection and relationship.
Okay.
I personally believe that without having the desire to evolve and change, you can't force or expect somebody to be where you are. Okay. That's the equivalent of projecting my convictions onto you as if my convictions are your convictions.
Okay.
So my life, my experiences, my thoughts, my actions I'm pushing onto you like, yo,
Yeah.
you need to be this, you need to be that. Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da. I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about over here.
I don't think you would say that to him though.
So I know I would because I would be ready to receive.
Oh, got you.
So like,
I got you.
The perspective would be in both ages, I'm an analytical thinker, and at the younger me, it's going to be like, who are you? Why are you talking about? Are you credible? Like, there's so many different questions. And if I don't know you, like, am I only satisfying somebody else's desire for me to show up, or do I have a desire to show up? Because that all matters.
It all matters.
Right? It all matters.
It all matters.
Now, the wishful, um, thinking aspect of me will want the younger version of me to be open and receptive.
Okay.
If there's a position of open and receptive, I will want to know, was there a prior relationship that allowed me to be viewed as a credible leader in the eyes of the younger version of me? Because my position doesn't demand the best follower possible. A relationship from the position of having time built in, understanding, and also modeling would cause the younger version of me or anybody to be more open and receptive.
Okay.
So the things that I would focus on sharing then would be tap into emotional intelligence, understand you have an opportunity to program yourself to be whatever it is you want to be, focus on quality relationships more than anything, watch people's actions more than their words, and understand that there's 4 different types of people that's going to be in your circle. There's going to be family, there's going to be friends, there's going to be associates, and there's going to be foes. Judge those people for who they are, and don't get mad when you find out that some of your frequent interactions with individuals that really are associates camouflage themselves as friends. Watch their actions so that you can actually qualify who's deserves to be in what category based off of what their actions were, not based off of their words or just frequent interactions because of your environment. A large amount of the frustrations that we all have is some type of relationship we had with somebody that disappointed us, and that causes us to have this particular mindset. The next thing I would say after qualifying that will be expose yourself to as many cultures as possible, because what's done in this community will cultivate and train you to be one way, but they will not, this area will not train you to be adaptable to the world. And the example that I would use for that one would be the electoral college map compared to the cities with the most popular airports that are most visited. Most of the airports that have hubs are in states that are typically democratic states, and they typically have the highest population, they typically have the most people, and typically have similar ideology. Now, I don't want you to be someone who just programs because through your environment and just being like everybody else. The electoral college map shows me that in cities that typically most people don't visit, have different people that come from different spaces and that think differently. Hence the reason why Kanye chose Wyoming to be where his hub is. Now he's disconnected from everybody saying whatever. Now, I'm not saying that that's the model. I believe he's extreme. But I do believe that if you have a little bit of both, that you'll be able to navigate throughout the world a lot better.
I like that. Yeah, I think he will. I think the youngest process that. I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I think so. I really do. I think so. So what I want to do before we get out of here, good brother, let everybody know where they can reach you at. And or your Instagram, where your barbershop is at. I mean, I would say it, but I want you to say it so they'll know, so they can come through. And let everybody know where they can reach you at and everything. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, we can't. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. First, if you want to tap in with me, it's going to be within one of those 3 areas of charity, character, or capital. If you want to focus on spending some money with Main Attraction Unisex Salon, 5610 Lancaster Avenue, West Philadelphia, inside of the Overbrook Plaza, not too far from Overbrook High School. Go to mausalon.com, find one of the plethora of barbers and stylists that's going to meet your needs with exceptional style and care and professionalism. If you want to tap in with me through charity, you want to go to Barbers Who Care Incorporated or barberswhocareinc.org and find out one of the local charity or fundraisers that we're doing that pull the strings of your heart that you want to get tapped in or get connected with or help us do some of the work for the community to get deeper. If you want to focus on character, my encouragement is to tap in with me with begreatonpurpose.org. That's my motto. I believe in greatness through giving. My perspective is that we can plan to be great by choosing for us to follow through with the things that's going to be beneficial. And I believe that that community of people that are serving with me challenge me to be the best version of myself or to be great on purpose and not settle for just being good. And if you want to tap in with me there, go to begreatonpurpose.org, find out about one of the several events that we have coming up soon, or we can brainstorm about some new things that we can build together.
Thank you, Kenny. I really appreciate you, good brother. It was an interview long overdue. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, good brother. I can't wait for this episode to come out. This is Terrance Henry Experience, and we out. Peace. Yeah, man.
Thoughts?